Go back to the phone lines. We'll talk to Paul in Barstow, California. Hi, Paul.
Yes, Hank. I understood you to say that you have 12 children.
Well, you understood correct.
My question is, how does a couple in this day and age justify a large family, considering that we are adding about 1 billion people to this planet about every 12 years?
Well, a couple of things I would say. Number one, I think that it is a noble thing to adopt if God puts those circumstances before you, and that is something that we did. But whether one has 2 or 12 children is less important than whether those children grow up to be selfless producers as opposed to merely selfish consumers. So I think that you have to look at the whole picture. If I'm developing selfless producers as opposed to selfish consumers, that I'm doing something good for the world, and that is precisely what I am doing in raising my children in the fear and nurture of the Lord with skills and abilities to help other people. And it's why I have a daughter who wants to be a medical missionary to go help kids that have cleft palates over in Africa. So while I have received a tremendous amount of criticism for having a large family, I think that people who are committed to helping the needs of other people in other countries and have a heart for missions are people that are going to help society, not hurt society.
Well, I really can't buy that answer.
So if you were confronted with the need to adopt a child that needed a home, would you just walk away and say, well, you know what, I already have my quota of children?
No, my wife and I give to couples.
No, but you're criticizing my point of view. I gave my point of view. We adopted some of our children, and we adopted those children because those were needs that we felt that God placed before us, and therefore we did what we felt God wanted us to do. And in retrospect, we are certain that what we did was in the will of God. So we gave kids a home, and now you're criticizing me, and I'm giving you my explanation. You're saying I'm not buying that explanation. I'm also saying that some of my kids want to do things to help other people, and you're saying I'm not buying that either. You're saying that I violated some principle that you have that says I should only have a certain size family. How do you come up with the number that's right? What is the right number for you?
I believe that the number is the zero population growth number, the maximum of 2 biological children.
I mean, what we are called to do as Christians...
Americans are the most selfish consumers on the planet.
Well, that's not true. That's a generalization.
Yes, it is most certainly true.
That's a generalization, first of all. But secondly, what I'm saying is in concert with what you're saying. I'm saying we should not produce selfish consumers. We should produce selfless producers. In other words, we should produce the kinds of kids reared in the fear and nurture of the Lord who are using their lives to help other people, not only in terms of physical needs in the present, but also in terms of their eternal welfare. And I think that is a noble thing to do.
But we have churches all across this country that are packed full of selfish consumers. I don't know how anybody could be so blind to that.
Okay, but you're criticizing me for having 12 children, and I'm saying...
No, I'm saying any couple in this day and age that believes it's perfectly okay to have a large biological family, to me, that's a sin.
Well, and what you're saying is very common. I mean, I've been criticized by a lot of people. There are a lot of people who hold your point of view. I simply disagree. I think what you say blithely flies in the face of facts. Again, there are myriad factors to be considered with respect to family size. And I mentioned some of those things just a few moments ago. And likewise, there are people that say you should have a certain car. And if you're driving a car other than the car that they think you should have, then you're driving a car that maybe is too big. But fuel savings do not necessarily dwarf factors such as family safety. Fuel economy doesn't trump factors that we should take into consideration as well, since some cars, such as hybrids, have better than average fuel economy but require more energy both to construct and recycle than do other less fuel-efficient cars. So I think that in an age in which Christians are all too often characterized as poor, undereducated, and easily led, we should avoid lending credence to these kinds of stereotypes. Instead, we should commit ourselves to care for Christ's creation with tender hearts as well as with tenacious minds.